Hey everybody, it's Tafony here once again. Hope you're doing well. Today we were rambling about the Stylophone. Yes, that Stylophone CPM DS-2. It is an analog drone synthesizer and it sounds like this. Okay, before we get started, huge shout out to huge thank you to our good Euro pal Mariusz for lending me this one for this video. I really appreciate all the gear you've lent me over the years for this channel, so thank you so much. Let's jump into it today. So, what is it? It is a drone synthesizer. Someone asked me a while back, basically looking for recommendations on a good synthesizer for drones, and it kind of made me think like, well, anything could be a drone, right? Like, is digital better for drones? Is analog? I don't really know. And I had this internal turmoil, but like, well, anything, including like just a straight up analog VCO could be a drone machine, and here we are with the CPM DS-2. Now, obviously, I think that resulted in like recommending the Elmira or the Lyra or something. But I think for me, this box kind of helps me decide at the most basic level what makes a drone synthesizer. Well, something without an envelope or VCA. So all of the voices just play on endlessly. So I think the best way to go about this video is to break it down piece by piece. So let's start off by listening to just drone one. There's a volume knob at the bottom, and it's labeled with drive on the end, so I think it'll actually overdrive a little bit at the end. You can get a little bit of extra oomph, but for demonstration purposes, let's leave it a little neutral, I guess. Turn it up a little bit on my mixer side. So this will vary shape from square with PWM to triangle into saw. And I really wish there was a modulation point for that, but there isn't. That's okay. I love very shaped stuff. So cool to see it continuously morphing on here. I feel like if you're new to synthesis, this is a great place to just start. Like, how do the different waveforms sound? Well, that's a square wave. Oh, that triangle wave sounds kind of duller harmonically. And there is the saw. Now, we have a sub-oscillator. We can go down one octave or two. Let's go to our saw then. Mix in the sub-oscillator. So it'll be square, surely. And it just adds some oomph. You can have it only be that square, and then my very shape doesn't affect it. We'll go down back into 50-50, pitch down the entire oscillator. And in the low registers, for me, analog voice is just oomph. Just our saw. Maybe we'll vary shape a little closer to a triangle. We'll pitch it up and go 2 octaves down. And it will go out of audio rate territory almost. Almost, not quite. And then vary shape it back down to square. So 3340 oscillator and 3320 filter, classic, appeared on many vintage synthesizers. Here comes the filter. Let's get into 1 octave down, pitch down our synth a little bit more, turn it up in the mixer so you can hear it a little better. Saw, more square. Yeah. Now we'll take that fat sub-octave and those bright saw waves up top and run them through the filter. So let's listen to just the low-pass filter right now. No resonance. And consider that while there's no VCA here, there are ways to sort of, I don't know, create gating by doing that. So let's bring the resonance up to 50. Listen to just the upper. Take out my sub oscillator. Listen to just that main voice. Bring the resonance up even more. Nice sounding filter, listen to that. I love that sweepiness. Sub in as well. Yes, good. Great sounding filter. I'm not sure what the curve is offhand, but if you know, shout it out in the comments. It sounds really nice. Resonance, it'll self-oscillate. But tastefully in this patch anyway. Yeah. No patch point for resonance, unfortunately. That's for $400 Canadian. What do you want? Everything, apparently. I guess it's the Eurorack way. Okay. High pass. Less resonance. Let's try a different pitch just to save our ears and our minds. Less sub, or sub down 2 octaves, bring it in. Use that resonance to crank up the low end. Hear that rumble? There. I hope you can. You might not be able to listen to that rumble. Yeah. Right there. I hope you can hear it. Try a different wave shape on the triangle just to make it more, I don't know, subdued's the word, but. And now we can bring in our second drone, which will be out of tune. But we can try, at least by ear, to tune it to an interval or get somewhere that sounds good. I'm overdriving a little bit. So you can also hard sync them though if you want to just really get them into intervals where it's like kind of got that analog popping going around. But you do get some nice sync sounds when you're modulating the pitch in that way, right? So it doesn't sound so, I don't know, robot-y? Robot-esque? Is that a word? So we'll leave first one in high pass because I like that interval that we found where the resonance is kind of giving it a little low end oomph. And then maybe we'll try using hard sync, pitch link, to find some more fun with our low pass in this case. Oh, self-oscillation on the voice. There. And there's a little bit of dissonance there that I really like. Take that hard sync off and get into that raw noise territory. We haven't even got to the effects. Sub-Ossian. Turn down voice 2 because it's just a little bit louder so we can hear voice 1 a little bit more. So I'll turn this down a little bit and we'll get over to the modulation section. So we have this Ultra LFO, which is a single rate with 2 waveform outputs with a whole bunch of different destinations. Let's bring it in here. The one thing that can be a little bit finicky, they're both off right now, but when you turn them on, trying to find which of the attenuverters is being modulated. So if we listen to the destinations, let's just listen to drone 1 for a moment. So we have oscillator 1, you can change the pitch. So we want to use wave 1, and we're modulating the pitch, positive or negative. Do you want to modulate the wave? Oh, I can. Oh, man. Sorry, so before I said you can modulate the wave, you can. So let's go into this one. You can go PWM, basically. So you get those PWM sounds morphing into triangle and saw, or you can do pitch. So if we slow this way down, you can get those. Yes. Oh, I want to put a ski mask on and play in an abandoned warehouse. Okay. And let's bring in the second voice. Oh, it's tough because I love... We have all these different waveforms too. Oh man, so let's try a little random. Get some like distant and jumping. Let's go back to our triangle wave just for simplicity and use that for the pitch. And make it nice and slow, just to... Yeah, we're droning. I love how it sounds with the pitch link too. It's getting those other ones going. Let's bring in the second voice. Yeah. Make it even slower. And then we'll do oscillator 2. Let's try a different wave. So, turn on our wave 2. Maybe we'll make that the random one. Make that very shape. Just to get some different motion. And then we can modulate the filters as well. I want that to be our triangle, so we'll do that. And then alpha depth. I might not want to use that too much for drone 1 because I found that spot I like so much, but it's there. Listen. Although always a little bit of movement is nice to just introduce a little something something. I have my resonances cranked. Yeah! Oh, it sounds so good. Yeah. What if we make this super fast alpha? We'll get out of audio rate territory. Let's at least cycle. Video game sounds ahoy. And again, there's no envelopes or VCAs, but you can kind of make your own by modulating the cutoff. Let's bring in those effects now, so maybe for simplicity, I will turn these off just so we can hear them in isolation. Here's voice 1. I won't overdrive it as much. Let's hear the delay. So there's dry, wet mixes. Here comes the delay. Thing with the delay... Oh, there's another modulation point here. Thing with the delay is when you're droning without moving too much, it can kind of just add feedback, right? So maybe I will add some modulation now. I will say, delay not super remarkable to me. It's alright. If you really want to just use this, my first thought is to do feedback. Yeah, shortest time, many repeats as you can. So it can kind of be its own colorizing thing. It sounds a little bit muddy to me, which I don't want to lose any of that analog beef. But as I've always said, I'm more of a reverb fan than a delay fan, so if you like your lo-fi feedbacky stuff, you will be extremely pleased here. Isn't that? Okay, let's go totally dry. And bring in our reverb. So there's a whole bunch of reverbs though. And I'm in stereo right now. Let's go 50-50 wetness. Turn that up a hair and listen to the different ones. So there's no parameters other than stereo versus mono. Here's mono. I don't see why you'd want mono, but we can use stereo. So here's room 1. Make it even wetter, I'd say. Room 2. 3. And they're alright. Obviously, you're not going to replace your Star Lab with this, but if this is your first rodeo, then I would stick to the brighter algorithms. But again, it's just a matter of preference, too. I like my plates over my rooms. I do love a shimmer reverb, though, and I don't think there's any on here. Let's find out. Here's plate 2. And hall 1. Try some different modulation just to spice up our patch a little bit. Bring in our second voice for some low end. here is the next one, which is Hall 2. Make it even wetter just because they don't seem to have a super long decay. Maybe they just know you'll end up in feedback hell if you don't. But, oh. Last one is the Hall. I like that. Maybe the CH is a chorus, I'm not sure. Sounds nice. Mix it with some delay now. You can just kind of get into like lo-fi hell in a good way. Overdrive or oscillators. I feel like you got to be careful with using too much of the effects though, because there's so much low-end fidelity that's like lost by lo-fi-ness. Oh, the desire to noise is strong. All right. Who doesn't love to make some drone? All right, I'm Tafony. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.